Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's fantastic that you're here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Bonnie Tyler and her iconic Total Eclipse of the Heart, written by Jim Steinman. And in that video, we talked about the fact that if you are in one of those total eclipse moments right now, and as that video showed us, there is light even in the darkest of situations, and you just need to look for it. I know it can be hard to find, but it is there. So I trust you found that an encouragement. Well, we go from there to the Aussie band Boom Crash Opera that were formed in 1985, and I suppose Richard Pleasance and Peter Farnan got together as songwriters and thought, well, we need a band to get some of our songs out there, and so they formed Boom Crash Opera in 1985. You'd put them in the pop rock genre, except I'd probably say it's more the rock pop genre, because there's certainly more rock than pop, I'm thinking, this particular song. And between 1987 and 2009, they've released 6 albums and 19 singles. They've also been nominated for many ARIA awards. Now, if you don't know what ARIA stands for, it stands for the Australian Record Industry Association. And if you get one of those awards, you know you're doing really, really well. And if you've been nominated for one of those awards, likewise, an extremely high honour indeed. So Richard and Peter got together and I thought we better get some other guys together. So they got Dale Ryder on lead vocals, Peter Maslan, John Favreau, and later Ian Tilley joined the band. And so these guys are just so energetic, and their music was really, really fresh when it came out. And they're not scared to talk about stuff which can be, a bit of a challenge to us as human beings at times. They've really, really got some good stuff. And, the world pretty much met Boom Crash Opera when they released their song Great Wall in 1987. And certainly that's a song about the fact that, well, we all put up walls of one sort or another. And why do we do that? And so that's one of the songs they released. But there's another song in particular I wanted to look at today. And this is this song, Onion Skin. Came off Hero Crazy Times album from 1989. And yes, the song is about what you think it would be about. But before we get on to the philosophy behind the song, let's just look at onions to start with. Onions have, that brown or red outward layer, that we always take off when we use them to cook with. And then what we do is we then cut the onion up. Now, if you're a really, really good chef, you can cut onion up really, really fine. As for me, I tend to have different lengths, but that's okay. But we use onion in everything. We use it in stews. We often have it on the barbecue. It is just one of those things that we always use. It is really, really helpful. All of the onion, except for the outer skin, is useful and is used. Now, much has been said about the fact that onions have many, many layers. Now, you peel off a layer and there's another layer. And certainly, if you cut an onion down the middle, you'll see there's just ring after ring after ring after ring. It's quite amazing to think that something that grows in the ground like this can be so perfect almost in the way that it's formed inside. And of course, much has also been said about the fact that if you continue to peel the layers off, there'll be nothing left at the end. But you know what though? That disregards the fact that they've got all these layers, which are just so useful. So, onions certainly well and truly have their use, and they are incredible. It's an incredible, versatile vegetable. Well, we as human beings have also been, I suppose, compared to an onion. And by the way, before I get onto that, the outside skin that we take off is only as good as what is underneath it. If we have a healthy onion, for the lack of a better one, a fresh onion, that outside layer is crisp and clean and fresh. If it's not so new, that outside layer becomes a bit different and a bit yucky. So, the inside well and truly generates what the outside looks like. Now, you might know where I'm going with this today, but human beings have been compared to onions sometimes. Not in terms of the stuff that they make. Onions also make us cry, by the way. They have a real potent odor about them, but that's not what I'm comparing to at all. I'm comparing the fact that us as human beings have layers. And sometimes we talk about peeling the layers back to get to the real person, the real thing, the thing that makes us tick. And I just wonder if there's some similarities. I'm not going to go to the point where, that the layers will go and there's nothing left, because we're disregarding the layers, and we don't want to do that, because the layers is where all the goodness of the onion actually is. But as I said before, it's the inside of the onion that actually makes the outside healthy. And that's just wondering if the same thing can be said for us as human beings. If we think about the fact that we often put so much effort into the outside. I mean, that's the thing that people see. That's the thing that the world sees us, and when we put a lot of effort into that. But underneath that outside layer, we've got all the other stuff swirling around in the meantime. We've got our emotions swirling around. Might have some anger, some disappointment, some frustration, some joy, all the other bits and pieces that make us up as human beings. And I would argue to say that it's the inside that forces its way to the outside eventually. The outside will put up a bit of a fight for that, mind you, because after all, that's what we can see. That's the image we put to human beings. But sometimes when you meet somebody, and there's just something about them, they've got a glow about them, there's something beautiful about them. It's because the inside is beautiful. The inside is wholesome. The inside is all about making a positive difference in this world. And so that just naturally glows on the outside. They don't have to put too much effort in, because it just radiates out of them. It's a truly beautiful experience, I'm thinking, to see people who are really making positive differences, and to see just how it affects their outer appearance, because the outer is definitely affected by the inner. It really, really is. Now, if we try to be, if we're not very nice on the inside, and we're a bit into power and greed, and we're a bit selfish, well, it doesn't take long, I think, for the world to catch up with the fact that the outside image just is not matching up. Because a character that is positive, and a character that is wholesome, and a character that is trying to do its best, is such a compelling thing. It really, really is. And it's that character that people will respond to. And often it will ignore the outside completely, because it can see the character and the wholesomeness within. I think this is something we can all aim to be, that if the outside is one thing and the inside is something completely different, it won't take long for the world to catch up with the fact that there is a difference there. And then what tends to happen is people overcompensate by dolling up the outside even more. And it gets to a point where the human is lost and something quite fake takes over. I don't think any of us want to be fake. We want to be real. We want to be seen as people of integrity, people of courage, people of honesty. It really pays to be honest, in this world. I think, people really respond to honesty, and they will really, really try to help, because I know there is honesty on the other side. So, do we try to overcompensate the outside because we know the inside isn't that good? And we lose touch with ourselves almost. We don't want to face the inside. We don't want to face the barriers. We don't want to face the layers that are there. And we just keep to the outside because it's easier. But as I've said before, we don't disregard those layers. We don't peel them all back and there's nothing left. No, that's not worth doing at all, because there's value in all of the layers of an onion. It's the layers that make the onion such a useful thing to have in your pantry. So versatile, so packed full of goodness. Also quite potent. You really notice when you cut an onion that what it does to your eyes. It is a potent thing. It stands up and says, hey, I know where I'm at. I know who I am. And I'm making a difference in this world. I really, really am. So the layers are there for all of us to uncover and to discover and to see what's there, if we can only stop and dare to stop for long enough to look and see what they actually are. There will be some things in there that you'll be thinking, oh man, how did that get in there? That's a bit of a trick. Or, wow, I'm so glad that's there. This is the complexity of human beings. This is the complexity of us that makes us such a unique, incredible species on this planet. Such good power, such powerful good. There really, really is. We just sometimes need to make that choice to be that way, I'm thinking. So let's get into our under the skin layers a little bit more. Let's try and match the inner and the outside together. And let's try and make a positive difference in this world. And certainly for Burn Crash Opera, this is what they were getting at with this song. And we might as well talk about the Eclipse now. And all the links to these 3 songs which I'm going to talk about are in the description below. We do have Onion Skin. That version is live. And again, as I said, came off the Hero Crazy Times albums from 1989. You just see the energy and the percussive power that is Burn Crash Opera. It made them such a compelling act when they certainly came out. I must admit, for me, whenever I heard a Burn Crash Opera song, I would take notice, because the band is incredible and Dave Ryder and lead vocals has an awesome, fantastic voice. We then got Great Wall that came off the self-titled album in 1987. This is the official clip, and this song made it to number 5 on the Australian ARIA music charts, so quite a successful song for Burn Crash Opera. That's the official clip. And then we've also got Get Out of the House, which came off the Look Listen album from 1990. And I think there's a bit of a challenge here today. First of all, we've already talked about Onion Skin. We've talked about the incredible journey it can be to peel back the layers and see what really makes us tick. Great Wall talks about the fact, well, if the layers aren't very good, we may put up a wall to try and hide behind. The world will catch up with that eventually. So the best thing is to explore the layers before it's too late. And Get Out of the House, I think there's a challenge for all of us to perhaps look at the way we are and whether we can be even more, make even more of a positive difference than we are right now. I think the challenge is to get out of the conformity, to get out of the routine, and to sometimes look at what we as human beings can really do when we put our minds and our hearts to it. That's the official clip of that one. So have a look at one of those or all of those or whatever you'd like to do. And I've also included a link to my video from last time on Bonnie Tyler. So if you want to look at that one, feel free as well. Well, that's it for today. I hope this has really been an encouragement for you today. If you have come back for another video, fantastic. Thank you very much for doing so. And if you've hung around to the end, awesome as well. Well, that's it for today. Next time, we're going to go on to the Boomtown Rats. Of course, that's Bob Geldof and the boys. So until then, I'll catch you around.